Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here tonight. We are talking about Monday Night Raw's 5-point preview for November 28th, 2016. We are on the road to WWE Roadblock 2016 Part 2. Of course, earlier in the year, we had Roadblock in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. It was a WWE Network special that was just sort of put there. Dean Ambrose went up against Triple H in a big main event. It came for you live from Toronto. I think Brock Lesnar was supposed to wrestle against Bray Wyatt on that show. Bray Wyatt was injured at the time, so he was replaced by Luke Harper, if I remember right. There was a tag team title match. There was a little bit of this and that along the way. I think it was mostly a Monday Night Raw show. That just sort of happened to be on the WWE Network. But it's always fun, especially when you see Triple H wrestling on the WWE Network live main event special. I think that it really did deliver. If I remember right, I think the New Day wrestled a tag team title match against somebody on that show, and it was pretty good. But I don't know, we should be talking about Monday Night Raw here. The main event is going to be Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, yet once again they are going to the well. This match is going to be coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina. My buddy Rooney bought tickets to go to the show, but at the last minute pulled out, changed his idea of what he wanted to do. He's going to be watching this show at home instead, I guess. So hopefully Charlotte and Sasha don't deliver a great match like they did last time when they main evented Monday Night Raw, and he doesn't miss out on a big-time classic here. Also going down on the night is going to be Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson going up against the New Day for the Tag Team Championships. Those are going to be your two big championship shots. They did plan these a week out, so it's not like they're really a big surprise they're going to be going down on Monday Night Raw. Very rarely does Monday Night Raw advertise the matches that are going to be going down on Raw. They like to announce them during the Raw preview or just sort of throw them out there on Twitter on Monday and just see if they gain any buzz for what's going down. Honestly, in my opinion, when you plan matches out in the future, especially if they're Monday Night Raw matches, you're going to gain more interest in what's going down. The Raw Women's Championship match should honestly be a very good one. It should be favorited that Charlotte dropping the championship to Sasha Banks. And now Sasha is undefeated in singles matches on pay-per-view, yet Sasha has beat Charlotte on Monday Night Raw for the championship twice. Once before Hell in a Cell and then once back before SummerSlam. So it's not an undoable thing. Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson going up against a New Day. I think the deck is honestly stacked a little bit against them. These are two dudes that I really do like because of the fact that their time with Talkin' Shop on the MLW Network, which is now a VIP exclusive podcast that you can sign up and listen to. I highly recommend, if you've never listened to those, you go out of your way, join the MLW Nation, and it's only, I think it's $15 for an entire year, or just $2 for a month. If you pay the $2 for a month, listen to a few podcasts every day. They're only about 30 minutes. They are the worst podcast of all time. But honestly, at the same time, there's a whole lot of stuff packed into those you'd really like. Setting up the main events of WWE Roadblock, it's going to be Kevin Owens going up against Roman Reigns, and then Seth Rollins going up against Chris Jericho. Honestly, it looks like those guys are going to be switching their feuds a little bit. Last week we had Kevin Owens going up against Seth Rollins in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho came down wearing the Sin Cara mask as well as the Nakamura hoodie, interfering in the match. So we have to see what is the penalty after he was told by Mick Foley as well as Stephanie McMahon not to interfere in this match. They wanted to have a Universal Championship match that had no interference, and Jericho had to butt his head into there. We keep thinking that the alliance of Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens will be coming to a split. Some people thought it was going to be around Hell in a Cell or even during the Survivor Series match. But these guys are still best buddies, and they are sort of united by the front that they both hate Roman Reigns. So we'll have to see if they will double team up in that WWE Universal Championship match. Seeing how Chris Jericho thinks that when Kevin Owens is Universal Champion, he is the Universal Champion as well, because they are best friends. Seth Rollins just go out there and have a great match. Rollins against Jericho, honestly, in my mind, should be a great match. I don't know if we've ever seen this on Raw or SmackDown, but I know it's never been on pay-per-view, so this should be a really good match as well. This week will be the debut of 205 Live. I'm sure they're going to be doing something on Monday Night Raw with the Cruiserweights. Still a little bit of a surprise to me that Rich Swann and the rest of the Cruiserweights aren't moved over to SmackDown, seeing how they're filming 205 Live on Tuesdays after SmackDown is done. A lot of people talking about people going to see SmackDown to see the stars of SmackDown, such as John Cena, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, so on and so forth, and then, once the show is over, leaving an empty arena for the Cruiserweights to go at it on the WWE Network. Maybe WWE could promise to have some sort of a dark match where the guys go in the back for an hour, and then you bring out Cena, Ambrose, and AJ Styles, and the rest of the crew, have some sort of a six-man tag where they don't do a lot, but they do a little bit to give the fans something to thank them for staying for the live show and making sure there are fans in attendance for the Cruiserweights to go out there. I think this is last but not least will be the new feud of Enzo and Kaz going up against Rusev. Rusev went out and he crushed Enzo Amore last week for the fact that he was walking around backstage naked. I still don't understand why the dude was walking around backstage naked, but he was back there. Lana was into him. She liked what she saw. You could really tell with those eyes. She was trying not to look, but she got a pretty damn good look. So I don't know if this is the start of maybe putting Big Kaz out there as a singles competitor, but Big Kaz versus Rusev seems to be the way that they're going. From here on out, I'm going to be giving you an inside look at the Tag Team Championship shot as well as the Women's Championship main event. So I hope everybody enjoys the Raw 5-point preview, and I'll see you guys down the road. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you once again. It seems that WWE is running to the well of the Women's Championship. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte on Monday Night Raw yet once again. Of course, everyone can remember the main event from just back in October when Sasha Banks beat Charlotte to become two-time Women's Champion, only to lose the championship at Hell in the Cell. The same thing that happened on the road to SummerSlam. Sasha Banks is to Monday Night Raw what Charlotte is to pay-per-view. They've made 1,000 things on pay-per-view, talking every time about Charlotte has never lost a singles match on pay-per-view, sort of drawing a line between her being the Ronda Rousey of the WWE, yet Sasha Banks has beat her twice on Monday Night Raw, never having that big pay-per-view moment to sort of go with it. Honestly, in my opinion, from watching the Survivor Series, I'm a little bit surprised that they're not going with Charlotte versus Bayley at this upcoming pay-per-view for Monday Night Raw, which of course is going to be WWE Roadblock 2016 for the second time in the same year. I don't even know how Gemini is going to be able to put his DVD collection together this year by putting Roadblock 2016 by Roadblock 2016. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I understand that they picked this name fresh last year. There's going to be a lot of specials next year. I don't know why they couldn't have picked one of the old pay-per-view names from back in the day, like Armageddon, and just use that. I always like Armageddon as like the ending of the year pay-per-view, because it was sort of like they were going to blow everything up, because you knew the Royal Rumble was coming up around the corner, which was going to lead to hot, new, fresh angles leading towards WrestleMania. Plus, at the first Armageddon, we had Vince versus Triple H in the match, which Stephanie McMahon turned to sort of set up Triple H and Stephanie and the Stephanie McMahon-Helmsley era back in the day, which I think was one of the hottest angles that they ran for a long time. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't understand why they never, in storyline, had a kid. Because here we are years later. I guess that kid would be 16 now, if it would have happened then. So, 2 years from now, 3 years, 4 years from now, however you can find a fresh young talent that you really believe is the going to be the face of the business, you brand them with the angle of, or the, I guess basically you brand them as being a part of the McMahon family era. It's going to be a long time before Triple H and Stephanie's daughters are able to wrestle if they even want to wrestle. Shane's got boys. It's going to be a long time before those kids grow up to be able to be in there. They could have done it back then. I don't know. I mean, honestly, if they never went back to it, they never had to go back to it. It would have made it a little bit sticky when they were doing the whole thing about them being separated and back together. I'm glad they never did a storyline basically where they were going to divorce court or anything like that, splitting everything up. But then again, if you do remember the build up to WrestleMania 17 was Triple H and Stephanie fighting over their dog, which sort of just put Chris Jericho in this weird slot of where he was. But then again, if you think about that WrestleMania, well, not 17, WrestleMania 18, you're thinking more about Hogan and Rock anyways, and most people will probably turn it off after that and not even watch Triple H and Jericho. But Sasha going up against Charlotte. I guess the one thing that they really could do is they could do an injury angle storyline where basically Charlotte takes out Sasha, which would set up Bayley making the save, and then that would get us to the point of Bayley versus Charlotte at this Roadblock pay-per-view. Last time these girls went out there, they had the main event and they blew everyone away. Definitely one of the best women's matches, definitely one of the best Raw matches that we've ever had. Everybody can remember them going up to the top rope and doing that big spinny spiral flipperoo deal off the top rope. But Sasha won, and it made a lot of people swing their heads towards the women's division, really saying these guys have got it going on. So I think this is going to be a really good match. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte one way or another comes out the champion, if they do that injury angle thing leading to Charlotte versus Bayley, or if it's just a 1-2-3 and Charlotte gets the win over Sasha, and that's all she wrote. Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here, kicking off the Monday Night Raw 5-point preview. Tomorrow night, we're going to be having a big tag team titles championship match. And honestly, in my opinion, this is the match that I wish would be the match that finally gets it done. But I know that they're pushing the tag team titles. I know that they just honestly had the big Survivor Series tag team 10-team match with 5 teams from Raw and 5 teams from SmackDown, and I thought that was a really good match, which was won by Cesaro and Sheamus, who were not able to get the job done against the New Day last week. So this week, because of the fact they're trying to build up the New Day, is beating Demolition's record of holding the WWF tag team titles longer than any team in history, are going to be going up against the Club. The Club, 2 weeks ago, before Survivor Series, were able to beat the New Day for, honestly, in my opinion, at least the 5th time during this reign in a non-title match on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown on television. I'm not talking about house shows or anything out there that really doesn't count. I'm talking about on TV. The Club beat the New Day. We've seen almost about every team on Monday Night Raw beat the New Day in a non-title match, but it never counts, and they keep putting them out there as they're going to break Demolition's record. Honestly, in my opinion, Demolition is my #1 favorite tag team of all time. I put them above the Legion of Doom. I put them above the Dudleys. I put them above Strike Force and the Rockers, all those teams from the 80s that I used to really, really love. Demolition to me was that first team that really pulled me in. I love their masks. I love the spikes. I loved it where it basically looked like you can jump on these guys and beat them down, and they're just going to get up and they're going to keep coming after you. If these guys would have walked to the ring with axes in their hand, is the only thing that honestly could have made them more cooler, in my opinion. I love them with Mr. Fuji. I love them without Mr. Fuji. The face paint is what really put them over the top as one of the favorite tag teams that I've ever seen. And for the fact that the New Day is going to come in and, beat that record. I know that in the past we've seen AJ Styles. Fuck me, I'm gonna look like an idiot. We saw AJ Lee beat the women's record, and then we saw Nikki Bella beat AJ's record as basically a slap in the face because AJ wasn't with the company anymore. Now we're going to get New Day. They're going to surpass the record of Demolition and make it look like the tag team division is huge. Honestly, in my opinion, if you have the #1 tag team division, you shouldn't be trading those tag titles every month. but they should be, being passed around every couple of months. And the New Day to me is honestly an act for the past few months has been really, really dying off. I love the club. I love talking shop. I love these guys as the Bullet Club in New Japan. As Guns and Gallows, I still call them Guns and Gallows. Whatever they are in WWE, they're always going to be Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows to me. That's always what they're going to be. But these guys, honestly, since stepping up to the main roster, I know they don't write the scripts. I know that they don't get to pick if they win or lose. But honestly, in my opinion, they have not been getting the job done. These guys should have came in and won the titles, honestly, in their first shot against the New Day. They came in, they surprised the world at Raw. That was shortly after WrestleMania. They came down, I believe they were wearing dress shirts and slacks. They beat up the New Day in the Staples Center, and it should have been on from there. Maybe they shouldn't have had the tag titles the whole time. Maybe they should have dropped them back and forth a couple of times to make it interesting. But we've got nothing out of these guys. They've got some non-title wins here and there along the way. They had a feud against the New Day, which went on for what seemed like 5 months, 5 different pay-per-views. They lost them all. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments below. And it was only 3, but it felt like it was fucking forever. And then they gave them that shot on Monday Night Raw, which seemed like this is the last chance you're going to get, and they lost again. There's no way in the world they should lose this match, but they're going to lose this match because of the fact the New Day wants that record and they're going to get it again. And hopefully, because of the amount of times they've been talking about Demolition, this is the year that finally Demolition will go into the Hall of Fame. I know that Axe and I know that Smash are both on the list of wrestlers that are in that sort of lawsuit against WWE, but these guys were the best. They deserve to be in. I know that they haven't really talked about New Day and Guns and Gallows that much because I've been talking about Demolition so much, but I think it's a farce. I think that it's totally beyond the point of just being whack that the New Day still has this record and they're going to break this record. And honestly, in my opinion, they don't deserve it. But because of that record, I don't think the Guns and Gallows are going to get it done on Raw.